There's a lot of people who want to join this Zoom, but if they live in Israel or if they live in England, they're not going to be able to hear it. So I promised them that I would record it and then put it onto YouTube so they could watch it on the computer with their families. And it's going to be very inspiring because they're going to see that so many people care about Eretz Israel and all the Jews from all over. So I'm going to introduce Rabbi Eli Scheller. And now you may begin.
One time. There was an 8-year-old girl that was very bored, and her father was just trying to read the news, and she was saying, Tati, I'm so bored. And he said, okay, did you play with the magnet tiles? Did you play with your dolls? She's like, I'm so bored of all my toys already. He didn't know what to do. So he takes out one of the pages of the newspaper, and it was a map of the world. And he cuts it up into different countries. And he cuts it up into a bunch of pieces. He says, okay, here, put this back together. This will take you some time. So she takes it, and she takes America and South America, and she's putting all the pieces of the puzzle together. And as she's doing it, she doesn't know where all the countries belong. But all of a sudden, one of the pieces of the puzzle turns over, and she sees a picture of a hand. And she's like, 1 second. She turns over the other pieces, and she notices that there was a picture on the other side. It was a picture of a child that was holding something. Now, she knows how to put together a child. So she turns over the whole puzzle, and she puts together the child. And it took her a few minutes. The child was actually saying Tehillim. And she gives her father the puzzle. And she had the world all together. And her father says, whoa, that took you only a few minutes. How did you put that back together so quickly? She said, well, I put the picture of a child saying Tehillim, which was on the other side. And that put together the world. Wow. By putting together that child saying Tehillim, she put together the whole world. Deep message in that story that just by saying a little Tehillim, we could fix the world, especially children saying Tehillim. We can do something very profound. So there's a special group over here that's getting together to say Tehillim, but I want to share something else. You know, there's a big war going on in Israel. And what could we possibly do? We're not on the front lines. We're not holding a weapon, and we all want to do something. Everybody has that feeling you want to do something. So there was this company in China called Something Wang, a big company. And this was a consulting firm. They look into companies and see how companies could become better. They were making like $1 billion a year helping companies that are failing. So they wanted to expand their business. There's always room to expand. So they got into companies in America. That's not always the best thing because they don't understand these companies. They took upon a major league baseball team. Okay, 2 fingers if you like baseball. Okay, so they took upon an American baseball team that they didn't know so much about baseball, but they sent one of their senior workers to watch the baseball games. And this Chinese man is by the baseball game. He's by the Orioles and the other teams, and he's watching the team. And he says, 1 second, I understand you have a guy in right field, and I understand you have a guy in left field, but the guy in center field, he's not doing anything. No balls are ever coming to the guy. So the Chinese guy says, listen, I don't think you need man in center field. I think that guy is extra. You could save millions of dollars if you get rid of that guy. And the manager of the baseball team is like, what are you talking about? We can't get rid of that guy. That's an important position. And the Chinese guy says, no, but nothing coming to him. He's not getting any balls. He's wasting time. He's wasting space. You could just have a right fielder and a left fielder. Get rid of the guy in the center. But the manager of the baseball team is like, that's unheard of. And he said, we're not getting rid of him. Now, as time went on, this baseball team, they worked hard. and they were winning some games, and they were one game away from the playoffs, from winning a big game. They were up in the game. They had more runs. If they could just hold the other team from not scoring, they would win this big game. And all of a sudden, it's the end of the game. They're in the field. The other team is at bat. Somebody's up at bat. Boom. Hits a high fly ball deep to the outfield. Looks like it's going to be a home run. But all of a sudden, that center fielder picks up his glove. He jumps over the high up over the fence, catches the ball. Boom. And that team now wins. They get to the playoffs. The Chinese guy is watching. He's like, I guess we do need center field. Wow. This center fielder who never did anything, boom, that was his time. We needed him to be there. And at that point, he had the winning catch. And now this team got to the playoffs. And you know, it says in Perek Tzadi Alef that every single person has a time that they shine. Every one of you is going to have that point that you shine. And we have to recognize that we need every single one of it. All 116 participants, all of you are going to have that time that you shine. So if we look at every single person, every girl in our class, every boy in our class, we need every single person. Although that person is failing their test, she's not doing well, he smells, she smells, everyone is going to shine. And if we could look at everybody, every person is special. If we're all united, I think that's how we could fight on the front lines. 2 fingers if you understand that. Okay, so we could fight on the front lines because at the end of the day, this is a spiritual war. No one understands how so many terrorists just came into Israel. They have $1 billion fence. They have sensors. They have so much equipment. How did the terrorists get into Israel? It's a spiritual war. And if we are all united over here in Baltimore, in New York, anywhere where you are right now, and it's really a mindset. And it's hard for me too. I go to shul. There's all different types of people, but you have to have in your mind, she's special. He's special. They're going to have that time that they shine. If you have that mindset that we need every single Jew, we're going to win this war. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for inviting me. I hope you understood that. Back to Moritz Siri.
Okay, thank you so much, Rabbi Scheller. And I'm just going to say I have to give a little plug for Incredible Kids podcast. Rabbi Scheller is actually going to be in this week's episode. You're going to hear, you see Rabbi Scheller, he's like a big tzaddik, right? He looks like this whole, like, I don't know how to say it. Like, you look like you're a very important person. But he was a kid once, and you're going to hear about his childhood, and you're going to hear about his amazing journey on Incredible Kids podcast this Thursday. So anyways, back to the Tehillim. Before I introduce our special Tehillim sayer, David, I don't know what to call you. You'll tell me what we're supposed to call you. David, I'm not sure. And I just want to say that I chose this Perek Tzadi Alef because some people like to call it the soldier's Perek. And even if we don't understand all of the words, I'll just tell you a little bit about it, that I heard that this Perek is very, very important for us to say, if you can say it as much as you can. So if you're going to say like 1 or 2 or 3 prakim, and you need to choose one that's really, really appropriate for right now, Tzadi Alef is a good choice because it talks about malachim. Malachim are angels, and angels are supposed to protect us. You know, like on Shabbos, when like we say like Shabbos angels are peeking through the windows, and Tati goes to shul and then he comes home with the angels. The angels are there to protect us, and the angels during the week leave, and the Shabbos angels come. So we want angels, just like those angels, to go and protect the soldiers on the battlefield. Like when they're there, yes, they're strong, yes, they're well trained, but they need Hashem and they need protection. So this Perek, we talk about, one of the psukim that we're going to say is Ki malachav yetzav alach l'shmarcha b'chol derachecha. And that means that Hashem's malachim are going to protect you. So when you say those words, even if you don't know every single word, it doesn't matter. Think in your head the whole time, Hashem, send malachim to protect our Jewish soldiers. And of course, our Yiddish Jewish people all over the entire world. And of course, in Eretz Israel. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce the incredible David Moseson.
Hi.
Okay, there you go. All right. Introduce yourself, 2 seconds.
Dov Moseson.
Dov Moseson. All right. Well, and how old are you?
I'm 8 years old.
8 years old. Okay, Dov, with all the kavanah you have, let's go.
I should say the pasuk at one
Say
time.
one pasuk. Say like 3 words at a time.
Oh, okay. Yoshev b'seisar elyon.
Yoshev b'seisar elyon.
B'tzel Shaddai Yisloinan.
B'tzel Shaddai Yislonan.
Omar Ladonai Machsi.
Omar Ladonai Machsi.
Umtsudasi Elohai. Umtsudasi Elohai Eftach.
Umatsudasi Elohai Eftach.
Boy Kihu.
Bo.
Kihu Yatzilcha.
Kihu Yatzilcha.
Mipach Yakush Midavar.
Mipach Yakush Midavar.
Havais.
Havais.
Be'evrasai Yasech Lach.
Be'evraso Yasech Lach.
V'sachas Kenafav Tachseh.
V'sachas Kenafav Tachseh.
Sina V'sochera Amitai.
Sina V'sochera Amito.
Loi Sira Mipachad.
Lo Sira Mipachad.
Loila Mechet Yauf.
Laila Mechet Yaof.
Yomam.
Yomam.
Midavar Baifel Yaloch.
Midavar Ba'ofel Yahaloch.
Miketav Yashud Sarayim.
Mikatav Yashut Zaharayim.
Yipal Mitzidcha Ela.
Okay. Yipol Mitzidcha Elef.
Orvava Miminacha
Urevava Miminacha.
Elecha Loi Yigash.
Elecha Lo Yigash.
Rak Beinacha Sabit.
Rak Be'inacha Sabit.
Vishilumas Rashaim Terah.
V'shilumas Reshaim Tir'eh.
Ki Ata Adonai Machsi.
Ki Ata Adonai Machsi.
Elyon Samta Me'oinecha.
Elyon Samta Me'onecha.
Loi Suna Elecha.
Lo Se'una Elecha.
Ra'a Benega Loi.
Ra'a V'nega Lo.
Yekrav Be'ahalecha.
Yekrav Be'ahalecha.
Ki Malachav Yitzaveh.
Ki Malachav Yetzaveh.
Lach Lishmarcha Bechal Derachecha.
Lishmarcha Bechol Derachecha. That was the pasuk I was talking about. Ki Malachav Yetzaveh Lach. Lishmarcha Bechol Derachecha. Hashem, please send those malachim to watch over all of the Jews. Continue, Yod Beis.
Al Kapayim Yisa Uncha.
Al Kapayim Yisa Uncha.
Pen Tigoif Ba'evan.
Pen Tigof Ba'evan.
Raglecha
Raglecha.
Al Shachal Vafesen.
Al Shachal Vafesen.
Tidroich
Tidroch.
Tiroimais Kefir Visanin.
Hirmos Kefir Vesanin.
Ki vi chashak.
Ki vi chashak.
Va'afaltehu.
Va'afaltehu.
Asgivehu ki yada shemi.
Asagvehu ki yada shemi.
Yikraeni ve'enehu.
Yikra'eni ve'enehu.
Imai. Anochi v'tzara.
Imo anochi vetzara.
Achaltehu va'achabdehu.
Achaltehu va'achabdehu.
Orach yamim.
Orach yamim.
Hasabiehu va'arehu bishuasi.
Asbiehu ve'arehu bishuasi. That was beautiful, and those were some really, really hard words. That's a perek that most people do not know very, very well. We don't say it so often. So thank you so much for leading us. I'm going to say the Misha Beirach for the soldiers, and we could have in mind all of the people who need our tefillas. And you could say Amen. Ready? Misha Beirach Avosenu Abraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Hu Yavarich as Hachayalem Ha'omdim Al Mishpar Artzenu va'Arei Elohinu Uvinehem Yitin Adonai Es Ayvenu Hakamim Alenu Negafim Lifnehem Hakadosh Baruch Hu Yadber Sonenu Tachtehem V'Atrim B'Keser Yeshua U'B'Ataras Nitzachon V'Kuyam Bahem HaKasov Ki Adonai Elohechem HaHolech Imachem L'Hilachem Lachem Im Ayvechem L'Hoshia Eschem V'Nomar Amen. I looked at your faces for a moment because I can see all of you who are saying Tehillim together. And even if it feels like we're not together, it really is special, because when Hashem sees that everyone in their own houses is saying Tehillim, you know, some of you are at the kitchen table, some of you are sitting, I don't know, wherever, in the playroom. It doesn't matter. We're all united together. I see some people are even eating dinner. This is such a beautiful way to elevate that. So remember that everything that we do in the next few days and the next bit, everything we do, you should just have in mind that everything should be a zechus, because it really matters. Every single thing matters. I'm also collecting pictures to send to Eretz Yisrael for the soldiers, and I got already, you'll never guess how many. Anybody here want to guess how many pictures I got already from kids all around the world? Raise your hand and I'll call on you. Who wants to guess how many? You're not going to believe it. Let's see. This boy, Zolti.
120.
You guessed 120, more than that. Good guess, but more. Yeah. Let's see I don't know how to say your name. Khalili? Could you unmute yourselves? Guess how many pictures we got?
100. 200.
200. Nope, more than that. Guys, guess higher. Guess higher. Let's see. Seligman.
280.
More than 280. Come on, guys, higher. How many Yiddish Kinderlach sent in pictures? The Lerman family. Let's see. Lermans, unmute yourselves. What's your guess?
700.
You're the closest. The answer is 720. Could you believe it? I already have 720 letters from people who want to say that they love these brave soldiers, and they're davening for them, and they're doing mitzvos for them. So send them to me, ikidspodcast@gmail.com, and Eretz Hashem, I will send them to Eretz Yisrael, and my Zaidi is going to the army bases to give them out. So anybody who wants to be part of this huge mitzvah, send them to ikidspodcast@gmail.com, and Eretz Hashem, I will send them over. I want to thank everybody for joining us for Tehillim, and Eretz Hashem, tomorrow night we will be back on with a special guest named Rabbi Yaakov Klein, all the way from London. He's going to be up very late tomorrow night to be part of it with us. So join us at 6 p.m. Same link, same thing. If you want to help spread the word about it, you can email me at ikidspodcast@gmail.com and say, you know, can I be part of helping spread the word? And I will let you know how. Everybody else, have a good night, and we should hear Basuros Tovos. And thank you all for joining. You are all incredible kids. Good night.
Excuse me, my son's right.